Hello, my lovely friends. My name is Ava. This is Winnie. And here are some romances with disability representation. July is Disability Pride Month, so I of course had to make a disability recommendation video. This is going to be my 11th romance rec video with disability representation. And yeah, most of these are ones that I don't hear about a lot. So hopefully y'all will get some underrated recommendations from this video. I will say a popular one on this list is Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. This is, I believe, the third book in this series, and I loved this one. It is definitely, I think, my favorite in the series. I do recommend reading these books in order. I think everyone told me that. I completely agree. Read them in order because our hero in this one, he is very much the bad boy of this guy friend group. You don't really see, I feel like, how bad he is unless you read the other books before this point and like figure out what he's gone through. He also goes through a lot in this one, don't get me wrong, but like it's even more if you read the other two books. Both these characters are new adult age. I want to be as vague as possible when it comes to this book because a lot of things go on in here that can be spoilers. But that hero that I mentioned a second ago, he comes from a very damaged past, very damaged lifestyle. This is his romance with the one girl he is forbidden to have, and he may or may not be like using her or playing with her at the beginning, and he has these like actual deep feelings for her. Our heroine is the one with the disability. She is blind because of an accident that happened when she was younger that our hero may or may not had a part in. So I'll leave it there. This is dark. All the books in the series are dark, so please be aware of that before going in. His Tesoro by Emilia Rossi was a favorite of mine when I picked it up, just because this is probably the first romance I ever read, and maybe the only one I've ever read where a character uses a rollator. I just connected really hard with that. So His Tesoro is actually a Mafia romance, and Mafia families, the Mafia society, revere perfection. So people in the disabled community are not really revered themselves, right? Our heroine has EDS, which is actually a sister condition to my own POTS. It's a chronic illness, and sometimes she has to use mobility aids to help her walk and get around. So she gets put in an arranged marriage with our hero, who's a big, bad Mafia boss man, and the moment they meet is actually when she's rolling herself in her wheelchair down the aisle. And from that moment on, the moment that our hero sees her, he has decided that woman is mine. I'm gonna protect her and make her have the best life possible. But he's also really grumpy. And so it's kind of hard to connect the two for him to have this like softer, more emotional side with his grumpy Mafia, a little bit psychopathic exterior. So he's trying to figure out how to weave them together, and it's easier said than done. I absolutely love this heroine. She reminded me of myself a lot. She loves to bake. The use of the rollator was great. She uses it around the house when she needs to, and I just really liked the hero's curiosity when it came to her and like what she needed and how he could provide for her and give her the best life possible, and also just trying to support her and her disability. So if you want a Mafia romance with great disability representation, I definitely recommend picking this one up. Oh, here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. Okay, I have to leave for work soon, so I might be having to film in this. I have a historical next. This is The Outlaw and the Lady by Lorraine Heath. This is actually a Western. I don't see a lot of Westerns out there, but this one was actually pretty good. Our hero actually kidnaps the heroine because she is the daughter of, I think, a man who stole his land from him and his family. So he decides to kidnap his daughter and like seek retribution. And when he kidnaps her, he's like kind of in for a shock when he figures out that our heroine is actually blind. And he just kidnapped a blind woman. And he actually does the whole thing of like putting a bag over her head and making her blindfold. And he doesn't realize the whole time she can't even freaking see him. So he feels so stupid. But I really also love seeing disability representation in historical romances, because you know what? Disabilities existed even then. So I love to see it. Okay, the sun's going away. Yay. Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood has a type 1 diabetes representation, which I was not expecting when I picked this book up. I haven't read a lot of Ali's books, but I heard really good things about this one. She writes a lot of STEM romances, and this is her romance with the brother to a guy she like used to see. There's a lot like going on in here, but they're both nerdy characters who are actually very hot. So that's what I do love about her books, is it shows that nerdy people can be hot. They can't be mutually exclusive. So from what I've read from reviews, the type 1 diabetes representation is done really well. I really loved seeing just that little tidbit in there to see that. Another historical that I have is A Scandal by Any Other Name by Kimberly Bell. I picked this one up specifically because I knew it had disability representation. The heroine was born with a spinal injury that makes her a permanent pariah to society, according to her mother. At least she says that. Her sister just recently got married, I believe in book number 1, and she decides to have this flirting excursion with her brother-in-law's best friend, who is a big flirt and rake himself, and they kind of get swept up in it and actually end up falling for each other, and she doesn't really believe it because of the way she's been treated by her mother and society for something that she cannot change about herself. The sun is back. Gosh darn, y'all. Oh, it says on here that she has spina bifida before they knew what spina bifida was. I really did love this representation, and from what I've read from reviews, it was done really well. Next I have Darn It All by Evie Mitchell. This is her 3rd book in her All Access series. Each book in the series has disability representation. Evie Mitchell is such a cheerleader for the disabled and chronically ill community. I freaking love her. If you've not read her books yet, you need to. They are great and hot as hell. Darn It All is a fake dating romance. These two characters are best friends, and then the heroine gets roped into being on this fashion creating show, kind of think Next in Fashion on Netflix, but she can only go with her partner, like her romantic partner. So the show is specifically for like partners in fashion together, but she doesn't have one. So her best friend, this guy, is the one who signed her up. So he's like, you know what? I'll pretend to be your boyfriend, and I'll learn how to do a few sewing fashion things before we go. But yeah, I'm gonna help you. So it's their romance. It's actually so fun. I love the show Next in Fashion, so this was a like treat for me. The representation in here, there's actually demisexual and bi representation. That's not disability rep, but I'm also like, you know, about that representation. The hero is a lower leg amputee, and the heroine deals with anxiety and panic attacks. Next I have Stray by Daisy Jane. I picked this one up specifically because I found out that the hero does not have an eye. He has an eye patch, and I can't remember how he's missing an eye. I think he's a veteran. I think that's what it was, but I may be wrong. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I've read this. But this one is an interesting concept. Sorry for the airplane going by. The heroine needs some more money, and she has her friend help her out who has this like online femdom side of the internet where men will pay her to dominate them. She decides to try it and thinks that this hero's ad online for a female trainer at his gym is an ad for that type of position, not actually a legitimate female trainer at his gym. So she comes to the gym, they're alone in the gym, and she just full on dominates him, and he's been feeling like this missing part of himself. And after that night, he's like, whoa, I was not expecting that. I don't know why she did that, but you know what? I'm here for it. I want to see her again. So that's how it starts. It's a very interesting starting point. The hero has felt really self-conscious. Honestly, women have not helped in this aspect. They're literally, the book starts out with him on a really bad date because the woman just can't stop staring at his eye patch and being like, sorry, I can't date you. You don't have another eye. Like, shut up, woman. Like, I hate how that exists in real life. It does exist. People find out about your disability or your chronic illness and they dip so fast. So I hate how realistic that was, but I really did enjoy this romance. I don't read a lot of femdom because I don't really think a lot of femdom exists as much as obviously the typical regular type. So this was actually refreshing. I really enjoyed this change of pace picking this one up. And I really loved the hero's vulnerability and how like vulnerable he becomes with the heroine because of what he has experienced when it comes to his disability. The last two books I have to mention are both historical romances. So I have The Summer Bride by Anne Gracie, which is her last book in the Chance Sisters series. I adore this series. This one I feel like we've been leading up to because Daisy is such a character. If you don't know about the Chance Sisters, there are 4 women who kind of became best friends out of an unfortunate situation that happened at the beginning of book number 1. Very unfortunate. Decided to be sisters in name. And at the beginning of book number 1, they actually come across this old woman who takes them in and pretends to be their great aunt. And they're kind of thrust into society at that point. So Daisy is very much a fish out of water when it comes to society. She grew up in the slums. She has a Cockney accent. Like, this life is not familiar to her. And all she wants to do, she doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to be introduced to the ton. She just wants a dress shop. She wants a dress shop to create dresses for the ton and make a lot of money. But dresses and designing are her main passion. She also feels really self-conscious and doesn't think anyone would actually want her because she actually has a limp. She walks with a very prominent limp, and she has been ridiculed and abused her whole life because of this. So she automatically doesn't think that someone would want her because of this. Our hero in here, Flynn, is a very aristocratic man, and he comes into society to find a woman to be his wife, very much on the same standing as him. But then he ends up meeting Daisy, and all those plans get thrown out the window. And Daisy is very adamant that this man does not want her. Like, there's no way this man wants her, but he does. He totally does. So yeah, if you're wanting a character that reads kind of like Eloise Bridgerton vibes, but she does not care, like, she's not a society woman like at all, I definitely recommend this one. And the last book that I would love to mention is Ever Yours, Annabelle. And this one is by Elisa Braden. Elisa Braden can hit it with her historicals. I love Elisa Braden. So when these two characters were younger, the heroine was just a little girl, the hero's a little older than her. That is her older brother's best friend. An accident happens where Conrad, the hero, saves her life. Because of that, he is now physically disabled because of him saving her. And she feels completely 100% responsible for what he has missed out on in life. He was about to join the army, and I think even lead a regiment before he left, before that accident, and he was never able to do that. And she honestly thinks that she's responsible for everything. But it's been years since they've seen each other. When Conrad sees Annabelle from across the room at a ball, he has decided, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to make this woman mine. But she is very vulnerable, and again, like I said before, feels responsible for what he has endured and doesn't think that she deserves him. So there's a lot of emotions going into this one, but I really did love the discussion of being disabled and what that means also in a historical time period. Anyways, there you have it. Those are some romances with disability representation. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books or if you plan to. But if you don't feel like commenting anything else, you can leave me, what should we do? Let's do any purple emoji in the comment section down below. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I will see y'all soon in my next one. Bye y'all.